So that, where my finger? That right there is my route for today. That is the Benediktenwand, sort of walking path up there, or in the summer at least it's a walking path called Uitwijbersteig. I'm going to go up there today and have a little sleep on the summit. It's just a wonderful day and I've got plenty of time. I'm just training a bit with a heavier pack. Got my full sort of snow and ice stuff in there with crampons and all that kind of good stuff, and overnight gear and lots of really good food. So I'm having a walk, just come up the Benediktenwand and yeah, enjoying the views. Right now staying out of the sun a little bit, and then later up there. Pretty awesome. Really kind of nice. I love the Benediktenwand. Ah, now you can see it better. Look at that. Beautiful mountain. Benediktenwand. So I'm going to go along here and then up into this little saddle, and then whoop, and then all along here, up onto this little area here, and up that steepening up the top there. That's the only place we have to be a bit of paying attention. All that stuff on the right is obviously not for me today. Yeah, and we talked about the sunglasses thing, didn't we, last time? Yeah, alright. And down here is a really groovy canyon. And that's for the summer, I think. All the way down into Lengries over there. And then on the other side of that passes Tegernsee. And I just came from over there. So, lots of paragliders in the sky today. Absolutely awesome. Beautiful. Onward! Yeah, look, I found a trail companion in this steep ground here, which is nice. This is the place we came from, and around on this rib here, there's the Bichler Elm, Benediktenwand, and then our place down there. And we are quite close to the top now. A little bit of area which has got some steel rope on it, so it's actually no biggie. If it were, if the snow were a lot harder, it would be more interesting. But as it stands, it feels pretty alright. It'll be good to have crampons for the morning though, because this will be rock hard. Cool. Alright, well, we continue. Over there, it's raining or snowing, probably snowing. So here we have a nice little steep section. Oops, nice little. So here we have a nice little steep section that we just came up. Hey there, what's your name?
Hey Lars.
Hey Lars, thank you for being around. Pretty cool to do this together. This little sharp steep bit. There's the iron thing, and we're just very close to topping out now. This last little bit. And I'm making some big steps for tomorrow morning, because this will all be rock hard ice, and it's a totally different story when this is ice. Which is why I have a rope. Yes, a rope to ab off things in the morning. It's a good plan. So this is a really, really steep little snow pitch here. So I've made lots of really big steps for the morning, and I'll see how hard it is. And if it's really hard, I'll just go down Glaswandscharte. But exactly this reason, I do have my little rope with me, so that these things are not a problem. But that would have been a long way down, and nothing much to stop you. So it pays to be careful. Yeah, it does. Now we're nearly at the top. So, this is the view from the top of the Benediktenwand. So I was up here before 3. A couple of interesting steep pitches there with Mr. Lars, who has now gone down over the Glaswandscharte. And I am looking at this weather over here, quite close by. The little hut is just down here. So I will see what is smart to do, whether I stay out on the summit as expected, or whether I go into the little hut. That's the whole fun of having a hut, but there is definitely some sun coming in here, and there's definitely some stuff over there, and there is definitely some stuff over there. So I have been very well treated so far, since it's just been really nice. It's a little tiny bit of snow coming down here now. So, but yeah, I'm all set up. I've got my stuff unpacked in the hut. I've changed my clothes and all that good gear. And now I'm just going to enjoy the mountain, I think. Looking at all the chuffs. And the buzzard as well. They think that I've got something for them. It's so funny. But I don't. It's really nice up here. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. Oh, that little lot over there is going to be interesting. Let's see if that reaches me. Oh, Mr. Chuff. Yeah, what you doing? I think you think I've got something for you, but I don't. Look at that. Interesting. I like it. Ah yes, and for those of you who don't know, actual alpine rock climbing, you know, for its own sake, rather than rock climbing in order to be a better mountaineer, actually started on this mountain. It started, let me just see with my hand, it started on the other side of this hill here, on Benediktenwand, and on the north side, that's people, rock climbers from Munich came and started just climbing for the sake of it here. That's happened here. So first professional use of skis, Maximilian Lietzius, the forestry official in 1890s, I think, 1895 or something, was the first person ever to use skis in a professional capacity here, and the first ever alpine rock climbing, and also the first woman ever to climb in 11, which I guess is French 8C, I have to check, also did that here in the Jachenau. So there's many small but interesting things that go on in the Jachenau and in this area. It's pretty cool. I'm just looking at, it's strange to look at snow from above. All this this precipitation down there. Let's see if it's gonna get me or not. It's definitely coming closer. I can feel the wind. So depending on what that does, I might shortly be retreating to the hut. It's actually, you know, I like to stay outside up here, but it is really great for that little hut to be there. I mean, it's just a shack, but at least it's windproof, and there's, you know, you're out of the weather conditions, and it warms up actually quite nicely on your own. And you know, people leave a sleeping bag up there sometimes, and there's some candles and a bit of firewood, so you know, it really is meant for also just when you get stuck up here, and it can happen because the weather comes in very hard, very suddenly, and all the ways down from here are basically hard, especially in the winter. So, see what happens. See what happens. So here is all that stuff I've been watching out for, but I think that the one that's going to get me, look how grey it's all getting around here, I think the one that's going to get me might be that one over there. So it's quite often that we have a couple of different weather systems and that sort of collide here, and it can't quite decide where it's going to come from. But as you can see, it is already snowing. I think you can literally see it come in moment by moment. Hello, little bird. Alpine chuff you are. Hello. What have you got to say for yourself then, eh? Yes, I do agree. Yes. What do you make of it all? Yeah, fully agree. Yep, definitely closing in now. Well, I may go inside in a bit, just to not get too damp. So, just a few things about my setup here. I always have full shell legs and arms in the mountains, just always, because stuff happens, and even if it's just to protect you from the wind, maybe it's a casualty that needs it, maybe your friend didn't kind of quite get enough warm clothing with them. It doesn't really weigh anything. This is just cheap thin K-way pants, and actually a good jacket. This is like a light Gore-Tex, but just take it. And then of course, all your usual hats. I use a system of lots of buffs, so I have like 3 or 4 different buffs in different warmths, and then the extra warm hat as well. You know how I feel about hats. And then down in the hut, I've got a warm, dry pair of socks. And important, again, these plastic bags, or you can also use your spare dry bags, your day bag or whatever, to keep your dry socks dry, because your boots are going to be damp, and you want your dry sleeping socks to stay dry. So you put your dry socks on, and then you put something waterproof between your sock and the boot, and then you can wear your boots again. And then you take your socks and you lay them over your shoulders. Your damp but not soaking socks go over your shoulder. If you've really gotten them wet in a brook, then obviously don't do that. But if they're just sort of damp from you walking around in them, if you hang them over your shoulders, they're usually dry by morning, and if not, then they'll certainly be dry by the next day. So if I'm on a multi-day trip, I've got 1 pair of socks that's only for sleeping, and 2 pairs that are alternating, either getting dry or being worn in my boots. And never shall the sleeping socks be worn for hiking, ever. So there. So here are the chuffs. And a little bit of sun, but at the same time, quite some snow. You can see it's all clagged in now. So I think I shall go in and have something to drink. It's very important actually to drink enough, because that is what keeps your blood nice and not too sticky, not too thick, and it keeps it circulating through your fingertips, and it really, really helps keep them warm. So what I drink is human diesel, and I have it in a flask, and it's basically, hot chocolate or chai or whatever you want as a base drink, and then you add to it palmine or some coconut fat and some instant oatmeal flakes, not very much, so it still stays liquid, and then chia seed, cayenne pepper, and whatever else you want, a bit of maple syrup. The cayenne pepper helps also with keeping your capillaries open, and when you drink that stuff, you can just instantly feel it warming your whole body, and your feet get warm, and everything is good. And I've got a whole flask of it down there, so I think I shall go and drink some of it now. See ya. Oh yeah, and the other thing is, I always take food that I could eat in case my stove fails. Stove is a luxury. I always take enough food with me that does not need cooking, because I don't know whether I'll be able to. So if I get caught in a storm, I'm not going to be able to cook inside my Durvan bag, right? If I don't get to shelter first. So I do make sure that I have enough food to get me here and back without cooking. If you're in a snow environment and you can't make water because there is no stove, you can put a bunch of snow in a dry bag and make sure it's actually really dry, and just keep it near you in the Durvan bag. It will eventually melt into water. It'll just take a while, but you must be able to kind of get all your basic needs met without having to light the stove. because you just never know. Well, this is weird, isn't it? The sun and snow at the same time. It's like, wow. Maybe I will stay out a bit more, but it's quite atmospheric. Quite atmospheric. Look at this awesome face down here. Alright, it's getting a bit unfriendly out now. Gonna just get out of the wind for a little bit. If I was now bivvying, I would just be down there in these cedar scrub. I found a couple of nice places. You see the little hut is just here. This is generally when the first snow of the season comes, I come up here and I watch it, and it usually comes in from over there somewhere, and I watch it come in and sleep up here. So there's a couple of really good little kind of sheltered spots in there. But let's just see what the weather does. No need to be daft about things, and plenty of hours yet for it to clear up. It really is an awesome mountain, this. So much texture. Oh, chuffs. Ah, and here comes the blue sky again. Wow. Crazy gear. Alright. Get something to drink. So, a few things about warm feet in camp. Because we're in the winter, so of course we're cold. And your feet will get damp during the day from hiking or from exertions. What I do sometimes do is wear sealskin socks. They actually keep my feet quite a lot warmer and drier than any kind of other sock I've ever worn, even if I'm not making them wet from the outside. But here's some other things. When you get into camp, you must completely loosen all laces. You can then get your dry socks. These are my sleeping socks. But basically, you put your dry socks on and then you put your feet in one of your dry bags. Or, you can take a plastic bag for that. But basically then, you can put your feet back into your boots, which actually helps to dry them a bit and certainly helps to keep them warm. And I mean, they will freeze up anyway if it's really cold. And I had that in Hardangervid, and you just have to kind of realize that that's going to be the fact. What I have done, usually I haven't put them in these boots, but normally I have insoles, either wool, furry wool, or reindeer skin insoles, and you take the insoles and put them inside your clothing over your shoulders with your socks, so that the insoles are staying dry and not frozen, and your feet are touching the warm insoles when they go into these boots. So it doesn't really matter if the boots are frozen at that point, because the insoles are warm, and by the time the coldness of the boot starts to get to your feet, then the warmness of your feet, because you're working, will negate that. So this is a key trick, is to have insoles, furry warm insoles, and put them over your shoulders inside your clothing to get all nice and warm and dry overnight. So yeah, then it's the dry bags, and then you can happily wear your boots around camp. Nice warm toasty toes, and not have a problem. And you have these little dry bags anyway to put all your stuff in, and then it's just doing it. Warm feet, really important, and not letting the snow get in. So that's what your shell pants are for. Try to get your trousers sort of relatively dry whilst you're walking around in camp. If they don't, then you need to either wrap them around your waist or just tolerate putting them on a bit damp tomorrow morning, because your base layers are going to keep your feely skin away from your damp, cold trousers anyway. So, yes, very, very, very nice indeed. And then we'll see how the evening shapes up. It certainly is pretty cool up here. I think I might be able to take my sunglasses off now though. I still have them set up there, I just realized, so I'm going to put those in the case for tomorrow. Yeah, look at this. Awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. Yes, just look at this magical, magical landscape here. There's the summit with a really nice family who happened to show up at the hut there last minute. This is very nice. And now I get to go and walk down this awesome, 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 awesome environment here. Look at this. Could there be anything more magical? Snow's really good. I'm not. It's sort of nice and hard, but there's a good, there's a good grip. A little bit of snow that came down yesterday, so we're just gonna have an awesome, lovely time walking down this thing. Guys, it's always, 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 always worth it. Always worth it. Oh, a nice little spot. Sheltered little spot for a bivvy right here. Maybe I'll go up here next time. We will see. Right now, let's walk. Yay, a little tiny katana, I think. Oh, what a great day for flying, guys. Woohoo! Enjoy! Yes. So now it starts to get kind of steep. This is the top of the Altweibersteig. And I just kind of came down there. The snow is brilliant. And hey, so we're going to start paying a lot of attention here. And going to eventually sort of go down there, and there, and there, and there. Benediktenwand, but totally taking the time, and mainly just really kind of enjoying being on relatively steep ground and in my crampons. I don't often actually get the chance to do that, so good to put the hours in and just feel how it all feels and do things nice and slowly, unhurried. And it's nice to actually be up relatively early in the morning so that this snow is still good, because later on it will be all mushy like it was on the way up yesterday, and it will be very warm today, so that's a time to be heading down earlier rather than later. Indeed. Wow, it's so awesome up here. So this is pretty steep ground. This is what we climbed up yesterday. So I'm just going to go very carefully along here, because that goes steep down with nowhere to stop. So not filming right now, just paying attention. Up is also kind of groovy. Kind of groovy. But with a great deal of respect is good. Okay, let's do these. Oh look, there's people coming up already. Good for them. So this is cool. These are all the steps I made yesterday. And I'm very glad to just down climb in those steps backwards, nice and strong, and not doing anything silly. Not doing anything silly, doing things slowly and carefully. That's the way. Now it's safe to film again. Yeah, it's nice snow. And just, there's the rope, and there's the rest of the track. So actually pretty good from here on in. Really, that's the only thing. If this was just ice, you'd have another think about it. Pretty steep, you can see. That's so warm. I have to temperature regulate a bit. It is so nice here. I'm going to have a little break here. Not because I need a break, but just because I don't want to leave this place. It's so cool up here. I think this would be a really nice place to have a little wild camp as well at some point in this little hollow. And what was really interesting actually also was that I met this nice family up there, and they were using a hobo. And of course that makes so much sense, because you're climbing up here through the trees, and you know, you don't need to take that much in the way of wood with you to get something boiling on the hobo. So, and up here we have so much in the way of dead wood everywhere, even close to the summits, that it does make sense. It does make sense. Maybe I'll do that next time. Makes sense. I mean, just look at all this, right? This is, you take a couple of those and you're good. Just strap on your backpack. Everything good. Not in summer, obviously, because you burn the mountain down, but in the winter. Wow, the sun. Nice. Amazing views. No wind here at all. Just brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah, just getting all the snow off my crampons before putting them in. This is a perfect little snow brush. This is actually an MSR pot scrubber, but the bristles are exactly the right stiffness. And it's got this great little sharp edge here to get into the ice if there's any ice been forming. So this is my new go-to snow brush. In the pocket of my pants. Fantastic. And there's also another use for my little cup here, because the crampons obviously are a danger to the rest of the stuff in my pack, so I put them together like this, the points facing each other, and then in the pack the cup will go over the front points like this, right, that way it doesn't make any holes in my gear. Yeah, and you use the straps to bind the crampons together, and this thing, so you have a really safe little packet for in your pack. See, this way they don't hurt anything. This is also not a bad idea, just a little bit of padding, and of course far away from dry bags, right? Yeah, the best ice axe is the one that you have with you, and this one is extremely light. You really don't notice that you're carrying it, and you jam it in rocks. It's absolutely got a properly hard tip. Just why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you go up there? Why wouldn't you be in the mountains? It's just so good. Yeah, always tough to leave it behind, but time to go down. Yeah, Benediktenwand. What an awesome mountain. What a good day to be alive. Much, much, much in the way of feelings of gratitude today. Yeah. Awesome good. Awesome good. Look at that. Nice. So there you see my path here. Deep. Over there. Down. And then, yeah, maybe I'll have a beer. Who knows? There's Tan. Yeah, it's just epic. Wonderful. Yeah.